This is a project for Gina Ahrens' design team. And what we are doing is a collaboration project. How fun this is. So this is a bonus video for you. And who are we collaborating with? The well-known and very much loved Shannon Green. Now Shannon has been creating these custom binders from cuts of billboard vinyl. Check out Shannon Green's Etsy shop. There are links in the description box below. I happen to have my own custom binder. This is a prime cut binder that I requested from Shannon because I love these wraparounds. I call them wraparounds because I've got plenty of space here for my binder to grow, and I have big fat journals. This is only the first 3 months of my Society of Idea Collectors and my Creative Year project for 2018. I have 9 more months to go in here, so you can believe that it's going to grow very fat. If you want one like this, you can talk to Shannon. I'm sure she would be more than happy to accommodate your wishes. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. This is the custom binder that each one of the team members on Gina's design team is going to work with. And our first goal in this is to alter the cover. So let's go ahead and open this up. And here's what you get. You get the vinyl custom binder, and it's all wrapped here with the elastic and ready for the inserts here. And she has an insert in each one of her binders about how to retie this. These are instructions of how to retie this. I'm calling it a custom binder. She calls it a custom keeper. But here's the custom keeper. Isn't this cool? Now, the reason that she does this is if you are working on your binder, re-altering it, which a lot of folks do. You can find a lot of videos. She shows you how to restring this elastic binding and with these instructions. So I do think I will pull the strings out of here because, yes, our goal in this video is to alter the cover. Ooh, we got Shannon's business card. Shannon at byshannongreen.com. That's where you can email her. She has a YouTube channel and a Facebook group. But here is what she gave me for my collaboration project. And generally you do not have, because she doesn't have control over what she gets. So she sends you what's there, and it looks like I got the sideburns and an ear of some person. While I like that, well, I'm going to alter it. Let's go through some of the things I'm going to use. In my last April project, you saw me use Yes Paste and Jacquard Gold Pigment to create an embossing base. So I have that. That's just some paint. I don't know if I'll use that or not. This is some paint. I may or may not use that. I have some wax paper because I always need wax paper for my desktop. Helps keep everything neat and clean. I have an X-Acto knife, and in this case, I have the one with the titanium blade because I'm going to be cutting through this vinyl, and I want a nice sharp blade. I have a palette knife for my base of my Yes paste here. And then you'll want some stencils. Gina Ahrens has her own line of stencils. You'll want to check out Gina's Etsy shop. There will be links to Gina's Etsy shop and her YouTube channel. Every place that Gina is online, you'll be able to find it in the Linktree link in the description box below. But here are some stencils that Gina has created. This is a quote stencil. Here are some X's and a lady's face. Create, inspire, dream. You can use Gina's stamps. Now I'm going to use this scribble stamp. I'm in love with this scribble stamp. So I'm going to pull it out. I also used the scribble stamp in my April project, so I'm going to use it again on this. And why did I pull this out? Well, this is the non-traditional doodle challenge that I did in March. And my viewers kept saying, Meri, you can do stencils from these. You can do stencils from these. So I'm going to choose one of these. So I do think I will be using her. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trace her on the inside cover, and then I will cut her out with the X-Acto knife, and she will be facing this way on the front. You will also want some embossing powder once you get your Yes paste and your pigment mixed, and I'm going to stamp it on the cover, and then I'm going to emboss with clear embossing powder. I may use some paint on here to paint over this ear, perhaps some black craft paint on the base. We'll see as I get working on that, but paints, whether it's craft paint or acrylic paint, whatever you have. I start out by clipping the design to the inside of the custom keeper, and I'm clipping that onto my cutting mat. I'm going to use a marker and mark the design on the front inside cover of the custom keeper. And after I get that done, I remove this stencil, and I'm going to use an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut out all of those shapes with the X-Acto knife to get my design. Now, my advice to you is if you decide to do something like this using an X-Acto knife, is to go slow and cut it slow and cut it deep. Don't try to hurry through this. This vinyl is not hard to cut, but you just want to take your time doing this. I am in fast forward here, so it looks a little bit easier and faster than what it actually is, but I have to do that to satisfy the time requirements for the video. I'm cutting out the last flower. I'm very happy with what's happening. Always, always, always cut away from you when you're using an X-Acto knife. Now I decide to paint that ear out on the front cover and paint out the hair. So I'm just giving it a base coat of black craft paint. On the inside of the custom keeper, I'm going to use some Deco Arts gold acrylic paint. Have to have gold. Black and gold. Very much Meri style. There is dry time in between each one of these steps, but I'm just showing you the basic steps. I'm using some Yes paste that is tinted with gold jacquard pigment. I did this in my April project for Gina on Gina's design team. I'm using Gina's stencil. Life and art are not about creating a perfection of expectations put on us by others. I love that quote. And I really like how this Yes paste forms an embossing base.
through that stencil. And you'll see that as I lift this up. Oh, I do like this. I love how this works. That comes out very nice. I'm using the rest of the Yes paste just around the edges there. It's going to form the embossing base when I put the embossing powder on it. And it gives it very much an added texture to the cover. I'm really happy with this. Now I'm getting ready to put some embossing powder on it, so I'm putting down some waxed paper for ease of cleanup. I'm using clear ultra thick embossing powder, UTEE, ultra thick embossing powder. And then I'm just going to shake everything off, put the excess back into the jar. And now I get out my heat gun and start embossing this. I have a little part there where I put a little extra Yes paste on there and cover it up with the embossing powder. Now I'm just using my heat gun. I don't show you the entire time of embossing, but it did emboss very nice. I'm cutting out that circle above the head there because it did emboss in my cutout, and I really don't want that in there, so I'm cleaning that area up, brushing off the excess. Now I decide that even though I have the gold on it, I want gold paint on this entire cover. Yes, I decide to paint everything gold. Why not? That's very much Meri. I'm using Gina's scribble stamp on the inside back cover. And here again, I do not show you the entire process of stamping this on here, but I do stamp that scribble stamp all across the back cover. Just add some fun to the journal. I'm using my StazOn black ink to distress the edges. It ages it, it distresses it, it texturizes it. I'm very happy with how this is turning out. This is Duraclear Americana Satin Varnish. I give everything a varnish coat, a satin varnish coat, just to make sure everything is stabilized there, that none of my colors will run. I do that on both the front and the back. Now I'm going, well, I've got to rebind this, so I get out Shannon's instructions and I start rethreading it. Her instructions are very clear if you follow them step by step. I have it all tied together. I have a little booklet that I created to fit in there, and I'm just fitting everything together. I decide that what I need in here is a front piece just to hold those cut pieces of the stencil, that it just holds them down to the front piece a little better. So I glue that on the inside front cover, and I'll probably be altering that as I go. Cleaning up my front cover, I'm very, very, very happy with how this has turned out.
Here is my finished custom keeper, the cover. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Very happy with how it turned out. Now I talked you through the steps that I did to create this. This is my style. This fits me. This fits Meri at the Meri Atelier. I would tell you that if you were going to do something like this, choose a very simple stencil design. I used this lady that was a doodle from my March Doodle Challenge, and it has a lot of curves in there. I had to go slow and deep to get these cut out, but I'm happy with them at the end. And of course, I know that this is a lady because I drew her. I know what this is. It fits me. It fits my style. And I love the textures. I love the textures created by the embossed paste on here, the metallic paste. Now I did paint it gold. I used FW inks to paint it gold. because you know I love gold. I found that I did have to put an inside cover on it, but that's okay for me. I need a dashboard anyway. I probably will be putting a dashboard in here, or maybe a pen holder, something else further on here. I'm thinking that I'm going to, in the future, dye this tie here. A bright white is almost too white for me. I'm thinking like using a brown stain on it, but that's for another day. I created a little signature to go in here, just so I'll have some pages to work on. The back page, of course, I painted the inside gold. I used Gina Ahrens scribble stamp that I just love on the inside of it. I used Gina stencil to create this texture on the back. Now you can't really read what this says, but I know what it says. I really do like this. I love the texture. This just fits me. This fits my style. So I hope this inspired someone out there to get a custom keeper, get some paints, some inks, convert the cover. I will tell you, I like this cover a lot better than I did that big old ear that was on here when I first started. How fun this was to do. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.